Rishab Shetty's magical period drama Kantara fuses a blend of history, tradition, and choreographed action into a story of Tulunado tradition, Daivas, a rise of a hero, the fight between good and evil, all into a shining star that will light your way. From the electrifying Kambala buffalo races to the mesmerizing Bhoota Kola festival, the worship of a Panjurli demigod, this movie will chase your heart into your throat until your soul shouts, "Wow!" Today just got a whole lot brighter, my friends. Welcome, everyone. Kantara is a once-in-a-generation masterpiece, from the adrenaline-fueled beginning to the bewitching beauty of the explosive ending. It is a film that is an explosion, a feast of color and sound, which highlights the fight of man versus nature and greed for sacred land, all brought to life by a musical score that will transport you from the movie theater all the way to the arresting world of the historical culture of Karnataka. And now we have another Kannada film which ushers in a new era for the movies. And if you don't want to miss the next treasure, all you got to do is push the subscribe button down below, share this with everyone, and always be one step ahead of the crowd. Writer, director, and lead actor Rishab Shetty has a primary belief that films can be more universal if we focus their content on more regional, local flavors and cultures. And Kantara success proves him right. Now, the multi-layered story of Kantara, which actually means forest in Sanskrit, spans 3 timelines. It starts in the 1840s. It begins like a fairy tale legend of a king who's searching for peace and happiness. One day, he discovers a sacred stone which possesses the essence of a Panjurli, of a boar god, and he decides to exchange a piece of forest land with some local villagers for that sacred stone. And then we jump from there into the 1970s, when one of the king's original descendants is now a greedy landlord, and he wants to reclaim that piece of forest land, break the original agreement with the tribe and their guardian spirit, the Guliga Daiva. Well, he sues, and eventually he dies right there on the steps of the courthouse. Then the film finally settles into its primary timeline in the 1990s. The village is peaceful. They have a benevolent landlord played by Chut Kumar. And then we meet the rebellious and carefree Shiva played by Rishab Shetty, who's turned his back on tradition. But all the trouble really begins when a new Department of Forest officer named Murali, played by Kishore Kumar, he does not accept the village's customs and cultures. He believes they're actually encroaching on the government's forest land, and he is hell-bent to restore the rule of law and order. But the story really kicks it into high D gear with the death of Shiva's cousin. That leads to the unmasking of the true villain and Shiva to lead his people's fight against their enemies. Now, see, as for the cast, it's always those typical little intimate moments between characters which really inspire the imagination and get the blood pumping. And here it's the same, whether it's a glance between 2 people who are in love, a joke shared between friends, or a mother chasing her rebellious son around the house, hitting him with the house shoe across the head, but only a few hours later to caress his crown and soothe his fears after a nightmare. All the actors shine in here. Whether it's Kushar playing the incredible embodiment of a forest officer, or it's Shiva's romantic lead, Leela Sampatika Gowda. She charms the audience. All of them are brilliant. But when it comes down to it, no one is like Rishab Shetty's Shiva. His magnetic performance animates the spirit of the entire film. And he tried to help the cast in many ways. One of them was he was the actual director of the film, and he also wrote the story. And a surefire way to tell something is really well written is when you can't tell who the villain is in the first 10 minutes. As for his directorial duties, you should see Shetty turns every routine scene into an epic journey. He infuses every frame with his pulse-pounding imagery and this vivid, colorful imagery of the vibrant lifestyle of the village and its people. And along with the dialogue, you have the set design, which works fluidly and brilliantly to share the director's respect for the Karnataka culture. And he lays it out there all on the big screen like some grand testimonial. And this movie has it all and more, but is when it gets to that more that it's at its best. See, Kantara is rooted in tradition and as such cannot be contained by only words. It is the meditative shots of the cinematography that captures all the splendor of the local culture and folklore. And when you combine that with the music, it becomes like the heartbeat of the entire film. And that sets the stage for the real fireworks. That when we have the Kambala event with the buffaloes racing through the water, which charges the air with electricity, or the silent and lush forest at night when Shiva and his friends are hunting wild boars. But none of it, all of it, pales in comparison to the Bhoota Kola festival and the performance that will freeze you in awe as you just stare and wonder at its beauty. Though to truly appreciate Kantara, we have to explore further the unique heritage and the culture and the customs of the Western Ghat region of Karnataka. See, Bhoota Kola is a ritual which comes from the district of Tulunado and some parts of Malenadu. It is an animist form of spirit worship where a man performs a ritual in a dance in colorful makeup before finally giving a speech. And many people believe those words that come out of his mouth are actually from the Guliga Deva, from a god. And it is in the film that very same gift that Shiva has inherited. But see, he's turned his back on all that tradition and all that history. Because when he was younger, he saw his father perform the Bhoota Kola and he disappeared into the forest forever. See, Shiva, this film in Kantara is more like an origin story because he doesn't start out as a hero. He's a 90s rough and tumble guy who smokes and drinks and fights and has a lot of fun. But as once he gets through this gauntlet of trials that he prepares his mind, body, and his soul for the divinity and to be one day embraced by the Guliga Deva. So the true hero of the film is the Bhoota Kola family and Rishab Shetty's message. And he doesn't have a message where he beats everybody in the theater over the head like they do in Hollywood. No, he simply is holding a light up to all those conflicting forces who are trying to tear that world apart. See, great movies, they inspire by combining every single art form into a powerful fury of sound and image. And then you have Kantara, which has history, tradition, culture, and truth into a mix, making a movie that will flood your senses with a celebration of life, belief, brotherhood, and family. It is the tip of the spear, piercing that shallow bubble of typical Hollywood big budget style spectacles that do absolutely nothing for you but waste your time and poison your mind. Kantara went back into the past and brought back a refreshing breath of air. So get out there, watch the movie, enjoy, lead by example, and let them hear you roar. We never bow down, we never bend the knee. Firmly defiant, step up, stand tall, and get busy living your best life now, always forward.
Whoops.